All right, so let's fast forward. You were in the game and all that. Some years have passed by. What led you going? What's your story behind you going to prison? Why did you go to prison? Let's hear the story behind that. I mean, can you talk about it now? Is it over? The case is closed type shit?
Well, I maxed out in well, it's already like 12 probably. So I maxed out in like 24 hours.
You max out in 24 hours?
Yeah, like my max date is on the 17th.
Oh, so basically, if you didn't get released like on parole or something.
My time would be, they would have no choice but to release me on the 17th.
Oh, okay. Well, you got charged for what you went to jail for. It's not like you're fighting the case or not. So,
Yeah.
so basically, let everyone know like what led you. How did that happen for you to go to prison?
Okay, so I was in Victoria, Texas, and at the time I was with my boyfriend, and
You stepped away from the game and got you a square.
yeah, but he sold dope.
So he wasn't all the way a square. He just wasn't
Yeah,
he just wasn't a P.
right.
Mm-hmm.
So I had got with him, and actually I had met him. Well, okay, so I was actually Facebook thotting around that I was Facebook thotting, and I had went. I don't even know how his friends Facebook came on my shit, and then I started liking on his pictures, and I seen him, and I was like, damn, he's fine. So I started like, and I got that inbox. Hey, what's up? So we started talking and shit, and anyways, I went to Houston, and then I had told him to come pick me up from Houston, and he did. And so I was with him, and I was still like hoeing and shit, but I still did my own thing. Shut up. And so I mean, I would give my money to him, but then I wouldn't, because half the time I really didn't even need to do that shit. Like, he didn't even know I did it.
Yeah.
And until one day I needed to go on an out call, and like, yo, I need you to take me to this address because I need to go get this money. And this is before I knew my out call for an hour could be 300.
Mm-hmm.
So I was doing like out calls for an hour for like 100.
Mm-hmm.
And then anyways, push come to shove, we started, fucking around for a good few, and we actually got, well, my second time I had ended up leaving him, and then I had went back. And then the second time that I went back with him, it was just, we were just going to be strictly business. Like, we weren't going to fuck or none of that shit, but we ended up doing all that. But we had, I was in my room. I was actually changing my Snapchat password at that time. And he had been selling dope all day. Well, he had hit me up, and he was like, hey, you want to ride? And I was like, something inside of me was saying no. But then I was just like, yeah, fuck it. I've been in all day. I was like, yeah, I'll ride. You know what I'm saying? Give me just a minute. I'm about to come outside. So I come outside, and I get in the back seat and shit, because he had his cousin with him at the time. RIP to Marcel. He's dead now. And he was actually young. He got murdered.
Yeah, well, RIP to him.
Yeah. And then his homeboy Trey was with him. And so we were actually taking Von Cell to go take these pills. I guess they were Zans, and he was about to go sell them to somebody. And I guess this cop car had been following us, but it did not have its lights on. And because we were in a dope fiend ring shit. And so we were at a red light, and I heard them say, is that the snakes behind us? And I'm like, what? So I see Boncell look back, and then my dumb ass, my high ass, happily turns around like real quick. And then I turn back around, I'm like, fuck. And the lights come on. And mind you, their front lights weren't on. Their like nothing, no lights were on. Like they had been following us, and they had pulled over, and he had handed me his dope and the rest of the weed. Well, the weed that he had on him. Mm-hmm. And I didn't think, me being the lit white bitch, didn't think I was gonna get in trouble. And played the white bitch role. I was like, I don't even know them. Like, I just got picked up. Like, I'm going back to my room. I asked them to drop me off and this. They're like, but they have been wanting, my ex, now at the time. And so I wouldn't tell them where the weed was at. I kept denying that I even knew them or whatever. And well, they're like, well, we're gonna get, we could smell the weed because I had a hoodie on. They could smell that weed through my hoodie. That's how loud that shit was. And I was just like, fuck it. I was like, look, I have the weed in my bra. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, I got it in my bra. It's where it's at. Mm-hmm. And so they were like, well, we're going to get a female officer to come search you. And she took the weed out. And in the process of her taking the weed out, the dope came out. And I didn't say shit about any dope. And they were like, they were like, well, where did this come? And I'm like, I don't know where the fuck that shit came from. Like, I was like, I don't know where the fuck that came from. That ain't mine. Like, I don't know what the fuck that is. Yeah. And my bitch ass went to jail for that shit.
So you went to jail. He gave you his work. You went to jail for his work, pretty much.
Pretty much.
So what happened with him? Nothing happened with him. He just got off. He was.
No, all of them that night. All of them got released. No, to jail. Nobody.
But so from that day forward is when you went to county and to prison?
Well, I was in county. Okay, so when I got locked up for that, I was in county for like a few weeks, and then I had got transferred to Williamson County, like right outside of Austin, and they gave me 6 months state jail for that dope from Ace and shit. And I did 6 months state jail, and I got my 80/20. Well, around that time, I was supposed to have a detainer on me, and I never had no detainer. Like, Victoria County never issued a detainer out for me or none of that shit. When I got done doing my 6 months state jail for that shit, I got out. And I got out in the world, and I wasn't even supposed to be out. And I was out for like 4 months, and I didn't even know I had a warrant out for my arrest. And I actually had a blue warrant out for my arrest. Come to find out, they subpoenaed me for this shit. And so I had ended up, when I got locked up, it was like October 2016. Like, it was almost Halloween, like probably like towards like the 20, it was like 20 something of October, I got locked up. And I was fucking sick. I was so fucking sick to my stomach. Like, oh my God.
And that's when you started the prison term?
Yeah, that's when I got locked up from there. And then I had got sentenced December 19th, right, a day before my birthday. And they sentenced me for 6 years. First, they were offering me 10. I said, fuck no. They were offering me 8. And I was like, no. I was like, if you can get that manufacturing delivering job down to possession, I was like, I'll sign for a possession charge. You know what I'm saying? Like, I was like, they said they took my phone for evidence. They can obviously see I don't sell drugs. You know what I'm saying? I sell pussy. You know what I'm saying? That's what I do. And so she was like, well, they don't want to come off the 8. And I was like, look, if you can get them to drop it down to 5 to 6 years, I'll sign right now. So after New Year's and shit, she ended up going back and she got it dropped down to 6. They weren't trying to go no lower than that. So I just signed for my time. And January 23rd is when I pulled chain, which was my ex who I caught this charge for. That was his birthday. And pulled chain, I went to Plain State, and I ended up making my first parole. I actually prayed about that shit when I got there. You know what I'm saying? Like, I started kind of like praying a little bit, and I was like, you know, like, God, if you just, you know, grant me my first parole, like, I'll start being a little bit more in my Bible, or I'll at least make an effort to being in my Bible more, and I'll make an effort to go to church on Sunday. Well, I ended up getting Safe P, and I completed Safe P successfully. And
explain what that might be.
Okay, Safe P is like a drug program for parolees. You know what I'm saying? And I got admitted for that. I completed that successfully. Well, I got a what is it called? Basically, I got a bench warrant. And I was going back to Dallas, and I was like, you know what I'm saying? Like, what the fuck am I going on a bench warrant for in Dallas? I've never caught a charge in Dallas. And then my ex came in my head, and I was like, fuck. I was like, Lucci. Lucci then probably did something, or, you know, I had ended up, first time he put his hands on me, I ended up calling like the law on him, because I was like, coming down off coke and shit, and I was just wigged the fuck out. You know what I'm saying? And so anyways, he ended up putting his hands on some white bitch, and I was like, you know, like, I don't know nothing. Like, I've been locked up for a year and a half now. Like, I don't speak to him. I don't talk. Like, there's nothing there. Well, I ended up getting an FI1 while I was at in Dallas County. Well, I had met this white bitch, and she was pregnant, shit, and we like clicked and this and this. Well, I didn't have nowhere to go, and she was like, well, when I get out, you know, I'm gonna ask my mom, you know, if she can parole out to the house and shit like that. Well, her mom said yes. Her mom actually worked for like the immigration part, where like she did like calls and shit like that.
Yeah.
And so her house got approved, and I was in Mountain View, this prison in Texas on Mountain View. And I kept catching all kinds of stupid ass cases. Like, I kept getting major case after major case after major case. And they ended up taking my FI1 away. And I never went home. After that, like, I basically did like 5.5 flat.
All right. So